Well, Graham Stringer is a Labour MP for Blakely and Middleton South. Graham, good to talk to you this morning. How are you doing?
Okay, thanks. And you?
Yes, very well, thank you. What is the point of this China trip, do you think? Do you think there's any real tangible benefit? We know that there are the tariffs on Scotch whisky, for example, going down from 10% to 5%. We know that visa-free travel has been extended and that people will benefit from that. To me, that doesn't seem huge when you look at what the Chinese have got out of us. What do you think?
I think it's slightly worse than that. I mean, I think you have to have a deep think about what our relationship is to a major power who are committing genocide in West China, who are clearly constantly attacking us in hyperspace. And we should be prepared to sell goods to them and buy goods. I think the paying too much respect to them, which this trip represents, is a mistake. I don't believe we should have given the huge Chinese embassy planning permission.
Was it a mistake, Graham, for Keir Starmer to go to China?
Yes.
Why?
Well, for the reasons I've just given. I don't think we have thought through what our relationship should be with somebody a country committing genocide. Mm-hmm. When you think of all the rhetoric that has been about Gaza, when you can argue what's happening there and what the definition of genocide is, there is no doubt that the Uyghurs are being sterilized and eliminated in West China. And going and shaking hands and saying we're good friends and our relationship is improving in that situation, I think is wrong. But they're also attacking us. Do you know how much we spend protecting this country in hyperspace, cyberspace, I should say? It's about £15 billion. And it's not just China, it's Russia, North Korea, and for all I know, Iran. But we're spending a great deal of money. They're costing us a fortune.
So what should our relationship with China? What should our relationship with China actually be then? What should the Prime Minister do, and how can he show perhaps not strength, because that's very difficult against China, but at least some resilience and some robustness when it comes to the UK?
Well, I don't think we should have given planning permission to this mega embassy. I mean, I feel particularly strongly about this as a Manchester MP when in the local consulate here people were dragged off the street for protesting about them and quite severely beaten up. So I think our relationship should be cold and businesslike in trading where we have to. And also, I mean, the Chinese have partly grown their economy by stealing intellectual property. I think in the long term, we should be saying that China was accepted back into the international community some years ago, and they've not played the game. They've cheated in the World Trade Organization, they've cheated in the World Health Organization. They are not playing by the rules, and I think we have to separate them out, where, when necessary, if we want to buy their goods or they want to buy us, I don't say we should not trade with them, but we should do it in an open-eyed way and not get cheated.
Just on the point that Keir Starmer did bring up, apparently, the case of Jimmy Lai, his son spoke to my colleague Julia Hartley-Brewer yesterday. Let's just remind ourselves of just a small portion of that interview, and then I'll get Graham's thoughts on that.
So this idea that we would trade our freedom, our citizens, our human rights, for any perceived economical benefit is not only wrong, it's also completely illogical.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think this idea of, warming relationships, if they can't even do something so human, so right, and so rational, actually, because there's direct impact to China's reputation and to Hong Kong's economy, keeping my father in there. Then what can we expect from that relationship?
But also, crucially, he is a British citizen.
She's right, and he's right as well. Sebastian Lai there, Jimmy Lai's son. We know that Keir Starmer brought this up, but Jimmy Lai will still be sentenced. He will probably spend quite a long time in a Chinese prison. What should be done about that case, and was this a missed opportunity, Graham?
I think it was. I mean, if China are going to benefit in PR terms from this visit, which they possibly are, then I think you should have gone harder, not just on the human rights of people being murdered in West China, but a British citizen who's being imprisoned for really trying to defend the agreement we came to with China when Hong Kong was handed over in 1999, I think it was. So he's not done enough on those areas. Sometimes dealing with bad regimes, you can get benefits. When I was leader of Manchester City Council, we had a friendship agreement with Leningrad, which the Jewish community objected to very strongly. But we managed to help get a number of Jewish people out of the then Soviet Union. So you can make it work, even if it's a bad regime. But it doesn't seem to have had any positive product.
Turning to events here in the UK, we know that a number of unions, including the Fire Brigades Union, about 15 of them, have told Keir Starmer to resign if the local elections in May go badly. Do you agree with them?
I think that Labour MPs, Labour Party members, affiliated trade unions will have to have a very serious discussion if the local elections go as badly as they look as though they're going at the present time. So the government isn't doing as well as I hoped it would do. There are problems. We have to have a discussion whether that's down to the whole of the cabinet, whether it's down to the leadership, what it is. Is it the fact that we're not having the real debate about what needs to change for the benefit of the country, which hopefully then, if we made those decisions, we would do better in elections.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting point. And I see now some councillors who are actually resigning or threatening to resign over these elections that have been cancelled, about 30 of them, and some suggestion anyway that some councils were lent on to postpone or cancel the elections. What do you make of this controversy, Graham?
It's embarrassing. I said that on the floor of the House of Commons. I joined the Labour Party because I believed it was in favour of democracy, redistribution, a number of other things. When you find out that it appears not to believe as strongly as I think it should in those things, then I'm embarrassed. I spent nearly 20 years in local government as a councillor. I have to tell you that there are times when it got tough, you wish there weren't elections, but you have to go. That's the deal.
Yes, yes.
If you want to make decisions on behalf of people, you have to have their permission by them voting for you. I mean, I thought one of the cabinet ministers said these people should be getting on with fixing holes in the road. The reason you can get on with fixing holes in the road is because people have chosen you to do that job as a local councillor. He completely missed the point.
I wonder, we've had a report just a little bit earlier on in the programme. I don't expect you to necessarily have seen it. I know you're very busy, Graham, but Kieran Galpin, our reporter, talked about, interviewed various people at Sussex University, but this is happening right throughout the country, where a third of students believe Reform UK should be banned from universities. Now, Sussex University itself says, look, we believe in free speech, we want people to have all sorts of different opinions. And actually, if you look at 10 years ago, about 24% of students believed universities were becoming increasingly less tolerant. Now it's about half. That's gone up. Do you believe free speech is under pressure in this country? And I know you're not a supporter of Reform UK, of course you're Labour through and through, Graham, but nonetheless, presumably you want a diversity of opinion at our universities.
Yeah, after one of these debates just over 12 months ago, I decided to join the Free Speech Union. And that is an organisation that campaigns, it helps represent people who are not allowed to speak or who are being prosecuted for using what they believe to be was their right to freedom of speech. And it's quite shocking. I don't know about the case in Sussex University, but it is happening all over the country, as you say. And what's even more surprising, the universities where the threat seems to be biggest, so our universities with the best international reputation. Oxford, Cambridge and Durham. I mean, you would expect them to be in the vanguard of protecting free speech. They're at the other end of the train, really. I am shocked by it, but I write articles occasionally and do what I can to enhance freedom of speech, or protect it is perhaps a better word.
Graham, thank you for that. Your freedom of speech exercised on this station is welcome anytime. That's Graham Stringer MP, the Labour MP for Blakely and Middleton South.